G'day, Jimmy from Hairy Campers. Want to talk to you about a different type of camping today. Um, Start off with this book. This book here is the Australian Motorcycle Atlas, and it's by Hema Maps. It's a pretty good book. There's all different types of rides in it. Tells you where you can get fuel, accommodation, stuff like that. Pretty good. Basically, what brought this on was I was talking to a mate of mine, Reg. We call him Reg because he drives the school bus, as in Reg Varney on the buses. And he'd like to go for a camping trip on a motorcycle or on motorcycles, and he'd like me to go and so we can do what we can do. Well, that's fine. And there's probably a lot of people out there that want to do this, and you can do it on a budget, and it doesn't cost a great deal of money. If you've got something like this is a Harley Davidson Road King. It's very capable, lots and lots of room. Not everybody's got one like this, but then some of the Japanese motorcycles are just as big, and the Italians, and the German motorcycles. So that's really not a reason to say I can't do this. But let's look at carrying some gear. We could say that we could take that with us to boil water in and make tea or coffee or whatever we want. But it is fairly large, and it's made out of stainless steel. It's a well-built bit of gear. Belongs in the camping trailer. So we leave that one out. The alternative is this little bugger. Made out of aluminium, so it's light. And it's a little bit flimsy, but anyhow, it's not too bad. The lid comes off. It is a coffee percolator, but if you take that part out of it, you're left with what you had there, but half the size. So we'll take this one because the top comes off. You put the coffee up in the top of it, or you can put tea in it. I was reading on the internet where it says it can be tea or it can be coffee. So that will stay. Now, I keep our coffee, a bit short in the arms, I keep our coffee in a container like that. Probably not what we could carry around, but it's not badly sized. We could probably do that. But we're better off with these things. These are great. They've got a clip on either side. The little seal up inside of them up there. I take this one to work with peanuts in it. Mr. Wilson puts peanuts or whatever I want in it, and it seals it up pretty well. So we'll keep that one. Now, this thing here is a great bit of gear for making coffee. It's a little tiny armour plated, for the want of a better word, coffee plunger that makes one cup. It's great, but you still need to be able to boil the water and all that kind of stuff. So we'll probably leave that one behind too, and it can stay here. I've taken it in the camper with me when we went to Darwin. I took it with me. Yeah, great bit of gear. Okay, that's got to stay. So we'll keep that. So by putting the coffee into that container, we can get rid of the coffee. Now, this stuff here, coffee mate, it's like powdered milk. So you keep that. You can actually make that into a milk with a bit of water and put it on your wheat mix or whatever you want to do with it. It's really just very much like a very creamy milk. So we'll get another one of those containers and we'll put that in it. So we've got 3 containers, which will be about that high. Coffee, milk, and sugar. Now, I was fairly impressed with this thing, to the point where I pulled it apart and had a look at it. And basically, that's your handle for your fry pan. It's a good size handle, No doubt about that at all. And it's a little bit of a pain to get it right. But anyhow, that's what you got. So you take everything out of there. I'm sure I'm going to drop something here in a minute. Very, very light. Very, very thin. That's your fry pan. That's your plate. So you put your plate on, you know. The only disappointing part, got a plastic cup. It's not very big, but that's okay. I could throw that out, take that with me anyhow, if I wanted to do that. Right, that's a lid for a little pot. I don't know what you'd cook in that. Maybe you can cook something for one person. I'm still disappointed. Basically, that goes back on there. That goes in there, and the lid goes back on it. Goes back in there. Then, as I said before, this is the disappointing part. When you put it all back together, and it takes a bit of getting back together. Put it back together and you screw all this up. You cannot carry anything else in there. It's just disappointing. Very, very good in the camper. Maybe in a haversack. If you were going somewhere, you could put a bit of pressure on something to try and stop it. I don't think it's motorcycle safe. And that's for the want of a better word. This is a must. That didn't have a knife, fork and a spoon. Neither does this, but this does fold out fairly well. Two reasonable sized pots. This is like Mr. Wilson brought this home for me a long time ago. You can actually put, probably not that, but you can put stuff in here, fold that over, and sit it back on top of each other. Now, with an elastic band around that, no rattle. We'll be taking that. So, like I said, this is pretty good. I do like this. So, we'll be taking that with us. So now we've got that, the coffee percolator, and 3 of these. That's brought back down to fairly well. That'd probably go in one of these sail bags. BCF and good. This one here is honey soy chicken. This is the Charlie Ballman and can't think of the other bloke's name now. They rode BMWs around the world, and this is what they used to live on. So you rip the top off, you boil water in that or that, and you tip this one here, I think 250 mils. You tip 250 mils in there, you seal it back, give it a shake like that, wait 2 or 3 minutes, and it's a meal. And you don't have to put any meat in it, you don't have to do anything, because it's freeze-dried chicken. $12. Sounds like a lot, but you go to Macca's and you buy something at Macca's with the same amount of substance as what this has. So you're looking at almost 1,100 kilojoules. That's enough for a meal for the day. Now this one here, I wouldn't say a lot dearer, but a little bit dearer. But this is a main meal for 2 people. So it's $17 for that one. And this one is tandoori chicken. Now, when I spoke to the bloke at BCF, he said they're really, really tasty, and they're worth every cent. And they're that thick. So Reggie and myself would need 7 of those. You know, like there's 70, 80, 90, nearly $100. But that's main meal of the night. Maybe we mightn't get 7, we might only get 5. then we might go to the pub and we might have something to eat at the pub. I don't know. But anyhow, we know we can get that. Love to take my table, but I think it's going to be too big to do that. As for the motorcycle, the days of Ockie scraps are gone. They're too dangerous and they won't hold this here. I could pick the motorcycle up with this here. Watch this. Whoop. That's probably buggered everything. I'll see if it'll still work. So that's pretty well much. There we go. We're back to going again now. So that there is pretty tight. Just the old hairband. I'd probably get a bit tighter one or a bit looser so you go around it twice, you know. But other than that, because at the end of the day, I don't want to cut these that come off the camping trailer. And we learnt when we was in Darwin, we needed every scrap we could ever possibly get. What I want to do here is just show you what I've got in the range of everything, if I can get it undone, which I can. How simple it really is. That one was wound up so you could see what it was. Leave them at this length and do that and wind them up. Righto. There's what we had in there. A little stretcher. A little stretcher. The sleeping bag. Wet weather gear is made up of a dry as a bone. Really, really good to have them things because not only when you ride do they keep you dry, and this here, we brought these a long time ago. They're called a biker swag. I've slept in one and Mrs. has slept in one. I couldn't say they're 100% comfortable. They're not as good as your bed. But with that there, with our stretcher, I was in it the other day, me and the dog, and we found it wasn't too bad. It's sort of comfortable. Because when I roll that out, as much as I try, I roll it out and there's a rock somewhere. You feel like getting up and moving, and when you move, there's another rock somewhere. You just never ever get a decent night's sleep. So I seen Buck come up with a great idea. He had a stretcher, and then he put something on the stretcher. Either it'd be that swag or it'd be a sleeping bag or something like that. It's worthwhile thinking about. So what I'm saying now is, here's what we got left over for our trip. We've got that. We've got a cup. We have 3 of these. We've got the Dixies. That's what they're called, Dixies. And we've probably got, between the 2 of us, 7 of them and 7 of them. That's all the gear we've got for 8 days. Now, the only thing I've got inside there is I've got a toolkit. That's probably a must to take with you. I'll show you how big it is. That's it. That's how big it is. Polish and rag to make the girls look at it. That's all that we've got. So we've got enough to keep us for 8 days. Like I said, these scraps are really important today. Ockie scraps. I've been riding motorcycles for 40 years, and we've tried the Ockie scrap thing. We've tried ropes. We've tried everything. The Ockie scraps have claimed eyes. They've even killed people. So at the end of the day, do yourself a favour and get that, like that there. Those scraps are worth it. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about is these little beauties. This is what will take up a little bit of room. Now, this is the old one. That comes off there, goes upside down. It's a bit of a pain. It rattles. It's not a very nice stove. It's made in China, same as this one's made in China too. But at one stage, these were outlawed. You couldn't use them. You couldn't even buy them. This one here, everything is together. So you've got the top screwed onto it. The only thing that moves is that there to put the gas cylinder in it. That's the better one. We took this one to Darwin with us, and look, of a morning, Jacqueline, get up of a morning, make a cuppa on it. Piece of piss, great idea. So look for the one that has the top of it that is screwed to it. Now the last thing we're going to put on this bike will be this thing, and I know it looks big, but that's where the stove's going to sit. It'll sit in that position because, as I said, Mr. Wilson's not coming with me, so I've got a spare seat. So it'll sit up there, and I'll put some clothes in that and all the rest of it. So there we are. We've got that, and those few things there. End of story. So we should have a great 8 days. So, but anyhow, at this stage, there's 2 of us going. COVID regulation says there should be only 10 of us. Now, if someone sees this video and they think they might want to tag along for a little while, just put your name in the comments or contact me, Jim Abra, on Facebook, and leave some details there and we'll get back to you. We're only allowed 10, so we've got 2 now, so it won't take long. That's if you want to come. But anyhow, Jimmy from Hairy Campers, with a different bit of way of camping and another passion. This is probably the second passion I've got in the world. I should say the third. Jacqueline first, camping, trailer, then the motorcycle. But that's how it should be. But anyhow, like I said, if you like what we do, hit the like button. And if you want to keep on watching, hit the subscribe button. Love to hear from you. Any comments you've got, questions, just put them in the comments down below. All right, thank you for watching.